Welcome everyone. So this is our third session of security as part of our preparation course for AZ-900, and overall it is eighth session in this series. And through this we aim to do a few things. So first of all, this is targeted at people who are completely new to cloud, and especially who are new to Azure Cloud. And then we will go through all of the important topics that can help you pass AZ-900 or the Azure Fundamentals exam with flying colors. Okay, and most of the people who have attended the class here and went through our questions and then asked doubts, they have all cleared with very good scores. And again, our learning plan does not stop with just getting AZ-900 certification, but it is going to continue for months. At least we have a 7-month learning plan currently, and based on how things go, we may make some modifications. But the important thing is this group will be always available for anybody who is new to cloud, and then we will help you grow towards becoming an expert in whatever areas you choose within cloud. So when you say cloud, it is not just one topic. So some of you might want to specialize on security, some of you might want to specialize on administration, some of you might want to specialize on DevOps, or you want to become an architect. So there are a lot of paths that are available within the Azure cloud, or any cloud for that matter. AWS cloud or any cloud will have all these things. Okay, so this is again 8th session. So if you have not attended previous sessions, it is available in YouTube. You can type clyt.bt.help and it will take you to the channel, and from there you can go to Azure playlist, and then you can start seeing from first one. And as always, if you have attended at least one live quiz, then you can always let me know on the day before your exam, especially if the exam happens before we complete all the courses. Then I'll try to set up a meeting, one-to-one meeting, or a meeting with whoever is planning to take certification on that day, and then we can quickly discuss on important topics, and then we can get ready for the exam on next day. And again, so do not worry if you are new to cloud, and just spend your time here, learn, and then we can all grow together. Okay, so let us get started with one more theoretical session towards the end of this course. So we have this one, and then one more tomorrow. So what will we learn today? We'll learn about Azure Monitor, Azure Application Insights and Platform Logs, Azure Service Health, Microsoft Trust Center, privacy statement from Microsoft, some of the important industry compliance terms that you can learn, and then you can read more about it outside of the class, and also about Service Trust Portal and Compliance Manager. So these are the things that are there in current syllabus. If the syllabus changes for any reason, we will also change our course accordingly. And what we already learned, unlike all the previous sessions, I will not read through all the things. So in session 1, we learned about cloud computing basics, and this is where we got introduced into cloud. So we did not just jump into cloud. We started from the history of cloud computing, and then took a journey into cloud, and then we learned how cloud actually makes sense in today's world. So if you are new to this group or new to this learning program, I would suggest you to go to that session first. And if you have any doubt at all, feel free to ask either in the group or in this session after our class. Okay, so during the class you can ask questions related to whatever topic we are covering for a day, but after the class you can ask anything from any of the sessions, and I will be happy to answer them. And then we learned about Azure architecture concepts, such as how to interact with Azure regions and resource group, manager, and all those concepts. And we learned about core services such as virtual machines, storage, databases, etc. And we learned about many solutions like IoT, big data, ML, DevOps, serverless, and we learned about networking concepts, and also we learned about some of the security things along with those networking concepts. And we learned about identity related authentication, authorization, Active Directory, and all those things that are related to identity, managing identity. And in last session we learned about Security Center, ATP, Advisor, Key Vault, AIP, policies, and logs. And as usual, we will see some details about our learning plan, how to participate in real world projects, mock interviews, and all those things towards the end. And this is the agenda as always. We start with Know Your Teacher, then announcements and thought of the week, monitoring, compliance, privacy, and trust. That is the topic for today. And quiz championship, and in the end we will talk about whatever you want to talk. And Know Your Teacher, I'll run through it because this is not the first session. I am an author, architect, and tech evangelist. I have written few books. I speak in meetups and conferences. I like to speak to engineering college students and teachers. I read a lot. This is my library, actually part of the library. And my goal is to teach lots of students. And I learn a lot from these sessions. Whenever I take a session, somebody will ask me a question that I have not thought about before. And most of the time it happens that I will go back, I will read more about it, and in a way I learn from it. Okay, so announcements and thought of the week. This is a certification preparation crash course, as you know, so we may not go deep into all the topics, but we will try to cover most of the important things, and we will discuss lots of questions. And if you have any doubts at all, you can always ask in the Facebook groups or buddy cult groups, or even during these sessions. And you can interact with us with this program in many ways: Q&A, chat, poll, and all. And this is the current syllabus. And so whoever get first in the AZ in this quiz for the day, they will get free access to the course materials that are prepared by students and job seekers like you under my guidance. So it will consist of all the questions and more questions than we discuss in the class, along with some lab materials for most of the modules, and some of the recordings and other information also. So whatever money that is generated from these will directly go to students and job seekers. And if you are one of those job seekers who doesn't have a job, you can come and then you can also be part of it, and whatever we generate, it will be divided to you also. Okay, thought of the week. We are still in the same week. The more knowledge you acquire and the greater skill that you apply, the more competent and valuable you become. Okay, I am telling this again and again every day, so that you will keep this in mind, and you will always try to learn and then improve your knowledge and skill sets. Okay, and that can really help you become a better person. And let us take a pause, and then we can quickly jump into our class. Okay, monitoring, privacy, compliance, and trust. So how many of you still remember about the CAA and AAA triads that we discussed in the first session of security? Can somebody quickly tell if you remember the CAA and AAA triad? I am assuming I am still connected, right? Okay, you can all send message to all panelists and attendees. Okay, so what is the CAA triad? Again, it is not CAA that you generally see in movies, especially English movies. So, can somebody tell what is a CAA triad? So, this is very important. So, whenever we learn about security, we should learn few important things that are relevant to security and that can help us be more effective in security related activities. Nobody knows what is a CAA triad. So we discussed many times and then it is sad that nobody is remembering what is a CAA triad, what is a AAA triad. Can somebody please respond if nobody is responding, then we will move forward. I want you to respond. It shouldn't be like a one-man show where I talk something and then you sit in front of computer and then watch it like a movie eating popcorns. Okay, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Okay, don't remember. So okay, so if you are ever going to work in security related areas on the cloud, you shouldn't forget these things. So one is CAA, and who can tell about the AAA triad? You can also use Google, but you need to understand it. You need to keep it in mind before working with security, because everything that we see, everything that we learn is in one way solving one of these, either the CAA or the AAA or the seventh one, which is non-repudiation. This is also one of my areas of interest. I have written a book also around these things. Okay, yeah, authentication, authorization, and accounting. But you can send to all panelists and attendees so that everybody can see. Okay, so let us move forward quickly. Azure Monitor. So Azure Monitor is a comprehensive solution for collecting, analyzing, and acting on the telemetry from your cloud and on-premises environments. Okay, what do you mean by telemetry? Can somebody tell or message? So this is going to be or this has to be an interactive session. So you can use Google. So nobody is stopping you. And some of these things are plain English. You can even get details from dictionary. Okay, can somebody tell what is telemetry? Okay, again, so sent to all panelists and attendees. So the process of recording and transmitting readings of an instrument. So there are many different use cases for telemetry. So something remote will be sending some data for the purpose of analysis. Okay, it may be even from sending information from moon or planets or satellites, anything. So sending data from different areas, consolidating it at one place and then using it for analysis. Okay, and in our case, Azure Monitor can be used for that, is for collecting and analyzing the data. An important point here is it can receive data both from cloud as well as on-premises environment. So these key terms you will need to remember for exam. Okay, so yeah, Remia has mentioned data at remote points and automatic transmission to your receiving equipment. Yeah, so automatically the configuring to automatically uh, okay, is my sound breaking? Can others also, because this internet is yeah, not very uh, great. Okay, okay, yeah, let us see. Okay, so yeah, so whatever definitions you mentioned is correct. If you search, you will get lots of definitions from Wikipedia, and in essence, it is sending data from a device automatically. You can configure so that data is sent automatically. It is being collected at one place, and it can be used for analysis and many other things. Okay, so that is about telemetry. And here, what in case of Azure Monitor, what happens is any of the resources can be configured to send data uh, towards Azure Monitor. Yeah, so sending data from IoT is also kind of that. So from sensor data. Okay, so here what happens is you can send those data to Azure Monitor. You can configure and send those data to Azure Monitor, and with Azure Monitor, you can proactively identify issues. Okay, and you have many many use cases where you can use Azure Monitor, for example, to get application insights, to correlate issues between Azure Monitor for VMs and Azure Monitor for containers, log analytics, smart alerts and automated actions, visualizations. So you can do many different things. At least some of them we will see with screenshots. So this is something that I introduced recently based on feedback I received from students, that along with theory, if we can have some screenshots also, it will be more easier to remember. But again, so we cannot have hands-on labs within the session because it will drag it and it will make very big. So that is why I am providing hands-on labs as PDFs for important sessions, just to get your hands dirty. But in future sessions, when we dig deeper into each of these topics, then we will have more hands-on topics, hands-on labs within the sessions itself. Okay, yeah, coming back, so this is the monitor screen. You have different options. There are activity log, alerts, metrics, logs, service health, and workbooks. And then below you can see insights, application insights, and various different insights. So you have a lot of things available here to set up and play around. So this is just a new account. And if you go to alerts, you can configure alert, and then you can configure what actions needs to be taken when that alert happens. And similarly, if you go to metrics, you can create metrics for different Azure resources. And log analytics or Azure Monitor logs. So it is a feature of Azure Monitor that collects and organizes log data from a variety of sources. So these logs are made available for analysis, and you also have a query language to query and dig deeper on these logs. Okay, so this is when you click on the left sidebar logs, you can go to this log analytics screen, and then you can play around with this. Okay, so this is just a new account. So this is how you will see log analytics page when you go to it for the first time. I want all of you to actually play around and then learn more and more in deep, even though it is not needed for the current exam. Okay, and application insights. So it is again another feature of Azure Monitor, and it basically does application performance management. And what does it do? It can monitor your live applications and help us continuously improve the performance and usability. It can also automatically detect performance anomalies. It can understand what users actually do with your app. So that will help you that help you to focus on the development or feature additions on certain part of the application in compared to other parts. And also you can monitor and analyze telemetry from mobile apps by integrating Visual Studio App Center. So there are lots of things. So you need to have a basic idea of what these things are for the exam, but I would encourage you to explore more and learn more. And if you are really interested to learn more about these services that comes under security, you can let me know, and then we can have we can even have our AZ-900 pushed to either October or November. October anyway may not be possible, at least to November. So currently it is planned for December. Okay, so this is how your application insights screen look like. So you can do lot of things there. You can experiment and Azure platform logs. So they provide a detailed diagnostic and auditing information of Azure resources and Azure platform. They are automatically generated. So there are different types. So like resource logs are there, activity logs are there, and then active directory logs are there. An activity log is kind of more important with respect to exams, and then many people have got exam questions related to those. So activity logs provides insight into subscription level events when a resource is modified, so or when a virtual machine is started. So those are examples where you can of subscription level events. So important thing to note here is that so this is at subscription level, but so what is that service that allows you to have governance policies across subscriptions? So we saw it last week, right? So what is that service, if you still remember? Okay, there is a question same as advisor. So advisor gives you recommendations. So here it is a it does not give you recommendations. You can configure things, and then you can analyze, you can it is event driven. So this is more of a event driven activity. So based on events you can configure what to do, or you can see different dashboards, metrics and all, and then you can figure out okay what is happening, and then you can take a decision. Okay, so let us continue. So again, you can view the activity log in Azure Portal, PowerShell and CLI. You can create a diagnostic setting to send the activity log to monitor logs, to event hubs, or to forward outside of Azure, or to store in Azure storage for archiving, okay, for future. Okay, so this is the activity log page. Again, so this is just basics. You can just go through it, you can understand, but there will not be lot of questions around this. Max you will get one question, but again if you need to get to that 1000 score, then you need to answer all the questions correctly. So max that has come from our group is 976, and if anybody gets 1000, then I will definitely give you a special prize. Okay, Azure Service Health. Okay, this issues, so this gives us a view into the issues, service issues that affect us. It includes active incidents, planned maintenance, health advisories, and you can configure cloud alerts based on some of these activities. You can receive alerts via email, SMS, push notification, webhook, ServiceNow, etc. And so you will get shareable details and updates, and then you can track these things. You can share with your team, you can do a post-mortem analysis and all those things, and also you get guidance and support during service incidents. And as always, some of the features are always specific to certain premium plans. We will learn premium plans in the next class, but most of them are also free. Okay, so you can experiment and then many of these things one by one. But for the exam perspective, it is mostly theoretical. And if I go very deep, so people who are focusing on writing the exam might get bored, but we will go deeper after this. Okay, and Azure Monitor workbooks. It is a flexible canvas for data analysis and the creation of rich visual reports. You can experiment with it. I've not seen or heard about any questions related to workbooks in exam, but I thought it is good to keep a screenshot for workbooks also. Who knows when they change the syllabus in November? That is what I heard. So it might they might include those also. Okay, and Microsoft Trust Center. So you can go to microsoft.com slash your country specific extension and then Trust Center to go to Trust Center. So it has three areas. So one is security, one is privacy, one is compliance. So if you go to the security section, then you can see Microsoft recommendations for home and business. And if you go to the privacy section, you can see Microsoft's commitment to privacy, transparency, no data profiling, and their commitment that says that they won't allow backdoors for governments and all, and also that they follow GDPR seriously. And we have also compliance section that contains resources for compliance practitioners such as compliance offerings, audit reports, regional compliance guidance, accessibility reports, and due diligence checklist. Okay, so there are many things you can explore. You can go to that page, you can Google, you can read, you can go through. There might be a question or two related to where you can find guidelines or those kind of things. So then the important thing is you need to keep these names in mind. Microsoft Trust Center, for example, and also Microsoft privacy statement. It explains how Microsoft processes our data, personal data, and how it is used and for what purposes. Okay, privacy is a very important thing for everybody in this online era. Okay, and data shared with Microsoft control affiliates and subsidiaries, how it is being used. And this is a link you don't have to remember the link. You can just Google, go there and read and understand about Microsoft privacy statement. This is just a screenshot of the beginning. You can go there and read and then learn more about it. Okay, and these are some of the important industry compliance terms. So one is ISO. It is international standards. It is a set of international standards across industries. There are many ISO. The numbers I don't remember, but there are many under this category. You might have surely seen some of them. And NIST is mostly technical things. It is originally used by the US federal government, but it is applicable for many others also. And GDPR, it is pretty famous these days. It is a European policy that regulates data privacy and data protection. So many of the companies currently try to do this, even if it is not for European customers. And you also can get regional compliance details within those compliance pages, and some of the examples are Azure Government Cloud. So Azure Government Cloud for United States, it is for use by United States government entity or by United States government contractors. And Azure China also has its own region called Azure China Cloud, and all the data centers needs to reside in China, and also all the data centers should also comply with most of the Chinese compliance rules. So some of the features that need multi-region replication and all may not work in such cases. Okay, and you can read. There are lots and lots of examples. For example, Azure Germany, can be used by any user or interface that requires its data to reside in Germany. And then similarly you have other things also. So read whenever you have time, but for exam, even going through this PPTs few times and learning is enough. But to actually get familiar with these things, you should actually go there and read through at least once. Your aim should not be just to pass the certification. Your aim should be to gain knowledge. And Service Trust Portal, it provides an insight into how Microsoft manages privacy, compliance, and security. You can get audit reports, and you can get information to help meet your GDPR obligations. And also from the Service Trust Portal, you can launch the Compliance Manager. So this is a screenshot of the Service Trust Portal, servicetrust.microsoft.com, and you have something called as Compliance Manager here. And Compliance Manager, it's a cross Microsoft cloud solution, and it helps us in doing risk assessment, actionable insights, and simplified compliance. And as mentioned in previous slide also, you can launch Compliance Manager from the Service Trust Portal. And one thing is, you will need a Office 365 account for working with Compliance Manager. So your normal Azure account will not work in this case, and you will get some errors such as this. If you say Office 365, if you say normal Azure account, normal Outlook account, or a Microsoft 365 account, okay, it has to be a Office 365 account. Okay, it was another running race. So initially when we started with our course, it was all it was more of discussion rather than running to theory, but towards the end it is becoming more and more theory. The reason is because when we started, we were new to cloud, right? So when we started this journey of cloud computing in Azure, so you were completely new to cloud, and as part of this course, so as you know, most of our courses, okay, so so as you know, most of our courses focus on learning something new than or something extra than that is required for the certification. For this particular certification, that was about learning about cloud computing in general. Okay, and when we learn about AZ-900, then we will learn a bit more than is required for about around security. And similarly, when we learn about AZ-400, we learn about more about DevOps. And when we learn about DP certifications, we will learn more about data. So that is our plan for this certification. We focus more on cloud basics, and then towards the end we are covering all the topics so that you can get a very good score in certification. But based on your interest, read more, and then come and join us for future sessions. But the important thing is we are going to attend the quiz now, and I have just touched upon most of the services here, so that is enough for your certification. But if you want to grow, if you want to have more visibility, if you want to have more credibility, you need to also start teaching. Okay, so you can take one of these topics that I went through, focus on that. You can even take a 5-minute or 10-minute or 15-minute session on that. Okay, if you are new to taking sessions, you can come to the Azure trainers group, and then practice there along with other people who are practicing. And then after you are ready, you can come to a main group and then deliver a talk to all our 30k plus members. Okay, so if you can do that live, if you can take up all the questions live, then you can clear most of the interviews also. Okay, and so there will be definitely certain things that you won't be able to answer, but that is a good thing because you can go back and learn. Okay, imagine that those questions come if you are in front of an interviewer. It is always better to learn it beforehand, right? So there is nothing wrong in telling somebody that, okay, I don't know that thing, I need to refer. Okay, every time I take sessions, I also get questions that I don't know. I go back, I learn, and I improve my knowledge. Okay, so let me quickly start the queues. Okay, here comes the first question. Your company plans to migrate all on-premises data to Azure. You need to identify whether Azure complies with the company's regional requirements. What should you use? Okay, it is Trust Center, Azure Marketplace. We did not discuss today, and Knowledge Center also we did not discuss today. Marketplace, again, so we also created a group called Azure Marketplace, especially for diverting all the ads and links and to keep our main group clean. So after we started keeping the group clean, so the inflow towards the group is much high. In last couple of weeks, more than 3,000 joined our group. Okay, so let us see that leaderboard. Okay, so Azure Germany can be used by, okay, most of you answered it correctly, any user or enterprise that requires its data to reside in Germany. Which two types of customers are eligible to use Azure Government Cloud to develop a cloud solution? Okay, if you have answered any of the two correct answers, you would have got points. An organization that defines international standards across all industries. Okay, it is ISO. An organization that defines standards used by US federal government. Okay, it is NIST. A European policy that regulates data privacy and data protection. Okay, it is GDPR. Most of you answered it correctly. Azure Government is a dedicated public cloud for federal and state agencies. Azure Government Cloud is a dedicated public cloud for federal and state agencies in United States. True or false? Okay, majority of you answered it correctly. What should you use to evaluate whether your company's Azure environment meets regulatory requirements? Okay, majority answered it correctly. It is Compliance Manager from Service Trust Portal. From Dash, you can track your company's regulatory standards and regulations such as ISO 27001. Okay, it is Compliance Manager. It's a bit tricky. From Azure Security Center, you can download a regulatory compliance report. True or false? Okay, it is true. The dash explains what data Microsoft processes, how Microsoft processes it, and the purpose of processing the data. Very straightforward. Okay, it is online services privacy statement. So top two are just different by 64 points. So that is the importance of time. Okay, you need to identify which plates in the Azure portal must be used to perform the following task. Monitor the health of Azure services. Okay, it is monitor. Azure Monitor can monitor the performance of on-premises computers. True or false? Okay, it is true. Azure Monitor can send alerts to Azure Active Directory security groups. Okay, but almost all of you answered it correctly. It is mostly about sending alerts. Okay. Azure Monitor can trigger alerts based on data in an Azure Log Analytics workspace. Okay, it is true. From Azure Monitor, you can monitor resources across multiple Azure subscriptions. Okay, so I even asked this question. So what can be used instead of Azure Monitor if you want to do across subscriptions? What was it? I think somebody it was policies. Okay, you can apply policies across subscriptions. From Azure Monitor, you can create alerts. Very straightforward one. It is true. From Dash, you can view which user turned off a specific virtual machine during the last 14 days. Okay, it is Azure Activity Log, which is a feature of Azure Monitor. So that is why I stressed more specific or appropriate answer. Azure Security Center can monitor Azure resources and on-premises resources. It is true. All Azure Security Center features are free. True or false? Okay, false. So can anybody tell any of the free features or what category of features are not free? Okay, there was one category of features that were not free, and then there were a few under free category. Can somebody think or suggest? So just try to recollect your memory. At least one person. What about scores? Were they charged? And what about Defender? Okay, so try to refresh. Okay, Defender is charged. Yeah, Defender is charged, but the scoring was not charged. It was in free tier. Okay, so you should remember those things in at least just previous session. You are anyway going to write exam in a few days, right? Azure Application Insights monitors web applications. Answer is yes. You even saw a screenshot of it. From Azure Service Health, an administrator can view the health of all services deployed in Azure environment and all other services available in Azure. Is it true or false? Even if you are not winning the quiz, you are still seeing these questions, you are participating, you are putting an effort to do something. So it will be always useful than just watching these things like a movie eating popcorn. Okay, it is true. From Azure Service Health, an administrator can create a rule to be alerted if an Azure service fails. Okay, it is true. From Azure Service Health, an administrator can prevent a service failure from affecting a specific virtual machine. Okay, so you cannot prevent service failures, but you can know about service failures and get report. But you can know about planned maintenance. Okay, planned maintenance is different from a service failure. Okay, you cannot prevent a service failure from affecting. It is more of a disaster recovery rather than a fault tolerance. Which all are true. Okay, majority of you still remember it is all of the options. And so final result, it was very nice to see the leaderboard. Okay, quickly some career talks and initiatives. Cloudrix.com, you know, we learn more than we we learn more than that is required for a particular certification. For example, for AZ-900, we focused more on cloud concepts. So similarly, for all certifications, we will do the same. And we focus on cloud and open source. We author books, blogs, courses. If you want to join us, you can join, and then we can all do together. This is the current plan. It is subject to change based on the response we get from students. But one commitment that I'm going to give to the group is there will be always a AZ-900 course for anybody who is new to the group. Okay, you can go through the current recordings, and so very regularly we will have doubts clearing sessions. We will have a re-recording of these sessions based on newer changes in the certification. So we'll always continuously help you clear your AZ-900, which is the first or the basic certification, and you don't have to go and buy AZ-900 course anywhere. We will help you out, and we can all grow together. And one more thing, once you finish your certification, spend little bit of time to come back to this group and then share a little bit about your experience. You can let me know, and then you can come and talk in any of the evening 8 p.m. sessions or weekend 8 a.m. sessions. So you can just come speak a little bit about your experience. It will motivate others. It will also give you more visibility. It will also give you a platform to share your thoughts. And that is it. Other initiatives like Q for English for improving communication, video tutorial portal, which is built by students and managed by students, and what called the Facebook alternative that I am building, which focuses on courses and which also avoids all the negativity, fake people, and all those things of Facebook, and train. So if you want to really go deep and learn deeper, and CSE Cafe for people who want to strengthen their computer science skills and references and keep in touch and stop sharing. Okay, so now so many of these things that come under different are chargeable. Okay, so I have a doubt for AZ-900. Are we supposed to go deep, or we need to just see or take a overlook, because there is too much and so many new terms? Okay, so that is why so first session covers 20% of the exam. Okay, and when Microsoft is planning to change the syllabus, that first session will have more weightage. Okay, so all the other sessions you can quickly go through, because there are different certifications that focus on each of these areas. But first session is very important, and you have to go as much. It is good to go as much deep as possible. Okay, session 1 about cloud computing basics is very important, but other things, because you are not you don't have to go deep, but based on your interest you can go a little bit deep, but not very deep. Okay, so if you whatever services I have mentioned, okay, if you go to its first page and read it once, it is good enough. If you read it twice, it is very good. Okay, most of the questions, 90% of the questions what I have felt from module 2 and beyond has come from the first page of Microsoft documentation. Okay, but so practicing and seeing things can definitely help you remember some of the things better. Any other questions? Okay, so once we complete AZ-900, we will, whoever has participated, whoever has attended at least one quiz, can go to Azure admins group, and then we can start learning together about AZ-104. You don't have to take certification, but still you can learn together. And the plan is, so now you have all graduated from this AZ-900 course, right? So now you will also have to take some responsibility. Okay, some small topic, and then you will have to talk. Okay, is there any WhatsApp group also for any kind of communication? Yes, the WhatsApp group is there. I will message the mention the number in the chat, so you can WhatsApp there, and I will add it. So, but this number I won't share in a public group because I don't want lot of spam. Okay, the final one is on Wednesday, revision session. Yeah, it is on Wednesday, and tomorrow it is going to be our module 4 on subscriptions, pricing, and all. It is mostly theoretical, as you can assume, but it is important also. Okay, any other questions, doubts? Okay, so this is the number I use for initiatives. So you may not always, whenever I spend time with family, I switch it off. So what about AZ-900? Is this Saturday? Yeah, so that is the plan. Now we will start from this Saturday. Okay, so any more doubts, questions? Okay, so do learn, ask doubts, and whenever you are planning to write certification, just send a message in Facebook or WhatsApp telling that okay, I'm going to take a certification tomorrow. At least I will give you a best of luck, or I can give some suggestions also. Okay, and once you clear the certification, you can get back, and you can even let me know if I need to include any of the any other topics in my course, and whether any of the sample questions that you followed were useful. You can also share it with me, and then I can go through it, and then I can check whether anything can be included. So not sample questions alone, but the theory behind that, because what I do is, even if I get a sample question from any of you, I don't directly put it there. I will try to include some theory within the theory session, so that it will give you a feeling of learning and then practicing it, rather than practicing it and learning. Okay, so if there are no more doubts, we will wind up for today, and see you all tomorrow. Okay, you should also put a snapshot of the winner in the queues. Okay, yeah, so that we can plan to do on Wednesday queues. We will have little more time, and then I can even ask you to come to panelists. Okay, so we'll try that for Wednesday queues. Okay, so bye bye all. See you all tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. IST.